Hello, everyone. Are you able to hear me?
Hi Rana. Hi everyone. So I guess we are live now, right?
Hello, everyone. Are you able to hear us? Please reply in the live comment section. This will help us understand all the connections are clear. Hello, everyone. I see the audience is gathering. I would love to know if you are able to hear us properly. Please let us know in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Dipti. Thank you. So it's very nice to be here, and it's very nice to be in the stage to host this and make it happen. I absolutely love the energy which I saw on LinkedIn. And I have been hosting each events for quite some time in Bangalore. And I see that, 100, people has been max because of physical capacity at Draper House or Hustle Hub. But as I see LinkedIn, LinkedIn, we have got almost 250 plus applications, and all of them has shown interest. So it's a very interesting thing to know, because if we can do it on scale, why to be limited on the physical capacity? Having said this, let me introduce myself. My name is Rana Jayant, and I'm founder of Mix Commerce. And Mix Commerce is a SaaS company, and it is basically building in the MarTech space. Mar basically means marketing, and tech means technology. And this has been 1.2 years old company. Before this, I started 5.5 years ago StableX, which is a tech consulting company. It is still running. We are profitable. And as a process of diversification, I took this process and I basically started Mixed Commerce. So we are conducting this event because we want to connect with the community. We want to bring the expertise on the platform, because for last 1 year or 1.5 year, me being in Bangalore, I talked with 1,000 plus founders. And whenever I talk with them, what I find out that there are a lot of gaps between what should be done, and there are a lot of pain points where they shouldn't be spending their time on. So we thought that why not we go ahead and we bring some of those founders who have made it achievable, or made have made to, like, in a specific point which can be shared to people. And then we made a list, we connected with them, and after that we connected with the Hustle Hub, the co-working space which has, 18,000 plus seats. And then we connected with the eChai, which is the biggest startup and entrepreneur community in India. And then we also connected with the startup Tails, which has been our media partner. And Mixed Commerce and Talnet came together to make this event happen. And the idea was originated from the person who is sitting beside me, Shivam Rai. He found me at a SaaS event, and he called me initially to take photos which were taken by DSLR. And 3 weeks later, he came and he said, like, why don't we conduct a cohort for all early entrepreneurs, and, entrepreneurs who are, in the stage where they need help, they need guidance, and they need expertise. So rather than saying much, I would let Shivam take it further.
Hi everyone. I guess my mic was on mute, so without further delay, I'll just start. So the problem statement that we have been seeing for the past some time, that startups are growing, the ecosystem and the community is also growing, but the problem that has been seen in coming days is the sustainability of early stage startups. And as per the reports and stats, we can see that more than 85% of early stage startups are not sustainable at the end of 3 to 4 years. So, what exactly is the problem? Is there any problem with the right strategy, with right management, with right execution? What exactly is the problem? Is the roadmap not right? Is the product market fit not good? So, where exactly the problem gets in the way? To solve this, to to figure out a way so that these startups could not just sustain. The question is not just about sustainability as well. The question is also about survival of the startups and also profitability of the startups. And as we can see in coming days, when we see the list of unicorns, most of the unicorns are also some of those who are not profitable at the end. Even they are in huge losses. So what exactly is the issue? What could be done
Right.
so that the early stage startups do not face these problems? And to help this, to educate and to provide insights to the budding entrepreneurs, to startup founders, we have come up with Start Your Startup Cohort, where the subject matter experts, industry experts, founders, angel investors will be providing you the insights and the right roadmap, the right strategy and planning on how you should carry along.
Thank you, Shivam. So as Shivam is saying that, a lot of companies have raised funds, and 99% which have not received fund have this hope of receiving fund, or maybe having the hope of remain bootstrapped. But the problem is that either you are in the phase where you have raised funds, or you are in the phase where you are looking to raise fund, or you are in the bootstrap phase. The grass always looks greener in the other side. Where like if we talk about a startup which is funded, what happens that these companies are always looking to grow their numbers, and they will do anything to grow. I personally know a couple of startups which I cannot take name of, which received funds and very good amount of funding, but they had to push these numbers to make the investors happy. And it is often the case which happens with startups which have not figured out the business model, or they have not figured out the MVP, and it often becomes a challenge that they raised very initially without figuring out the MVP, and they went and raised funds, and after that they started blowing money on marketing and people to just make the numbers go high and increase the valuation, and it often becomes a challenge. And you, as someone who has been looking at the industry, can see some of the biggest edtech in the industry. You can see some of the biggest healthcare in the industry. We cannot take the names here, but you likely understand that what we are talking about. And this challenge has been existing for years and years, and we saw this that in 2021, in 2022, the funding went to the peak. Everyone was raising funds, and what eventually happened that they raised funds, they spent a lot of money, they blown a lot of money, they were hiring 1,200 employees, 1,800 employees at a time. And what eventually happened that they lost control on the whole operation, and that became a challenge. So how do we go about it? How do we do things in a way that it doesn't get the journey doesn't end? How do we sustain it? So for this, we looked around the core issues, and we saw that how business should be looked from very beginning, that you look at the profitability rather than looking at the fundraise as success. And we call people who have gone the bootstrap way. We have called people who will be helping you likely in understanding the VC point of view in raising funds, and we have called people who have built marketing team as well as sales team to be part of the system. And then we'll be taking this whole uh, start your startup cohort to a level where you will be someone who can make decision around it, that yes, now I understand the industry. I understand that my goal should likely not be just fundraise, but fundraise should be just a part of acceleration which can bring strength to my company. So having said that, I will leave Nishant Mittal, and yeah, I will let him introduce himself, and then we will take it further.
Well, hi guys, my name is Nishant. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you very clearly, Nishant.
Perfect. I is my LinkedIn linked in this stream? Can my LinkedIn followers join this? Is that possible?
I think that what you can do is you can just share the event on the profile, and they should be able to see, and they should be able to join from there.
Mm-hmm. One second. I'll do
Sure.
that, right? And these people could actually hear me, then why not?
So as Nishant is trying to share his screen, let me tell you a little bit about Nishant. So Nishant has been founder for two startups which were recognized, and he has made almost $1 million in profit, and he has turned them off as well. Because of his innovative idea and what he has achieved, he was invited to be a TED speaker, and he has spoken there. And he will be able to give you glance around how to build products from scratch and how to make it profitable. Also, he will be sharing likely the secret of how he went into TED, so we all 250 people can go inside TED and we all can speak. Nishant, will you be sharing those secrets?
Yeah, it's not a big deal to go and speak anywhere, I think. But yeah, so yeah, what would you like to know, man?
Let us get started from your very first startup, that how you started building it, because the first startup is more or less like first love which happens in life. And suddenly you realize that it's not just love, it's literally everything. You want to do everything to make this company successful. You don't want to listen to your father, you don't want to listen to your mentor, and you want to call every investor stupid because he did not fund you. But what eventually happens is you come back and you're like, okay, I don't have money, right? Like, what do I do now? Well, I will still start up. I will keep my expenses low and I will take it further. So let us get started from very first thing, which you got started and what kind of challenges you faced. And as we know that, the whole theme of this event is revolving around starting very first startup and strengthening the mental ability and looking the whole system in the right way. So I would I would like to know very much, and audience would like to know very much about the very first startup. So yeah, over to you.
So I started my journey in the first year of college itself. Back then, when we joined college, we realized that there's this huge caste system in Indian education system as far as higher education is concerned, where people from IITs are extremely special and people outside IITs are not special at all. So we used to read economic times, like I used to read economic times, and I used to see that whenever there's a success story, if somebody was from IIT, we used to see that that person was from IIT. But if that person was not from IIT, we never saw which college that person came from. मतलब उसका नाम ही नहीं लिखा होता था कॉलेज का, अभी भी नहीं लिखा होता इनफैक्ट. Whenever I read economic times, I'm like looking for uh, you know who did what, and if that person is IIT IIM alumni, it's mentioned. But if that person is, let's say, from Punjab Engineering College, you'll never know which college that person is from. So that's what we realized, and we saw that this is not nice. So what we wanted to do was build a platform for tier 2 universities and colleges of this country. That like 99% of people are going to study in tier 2 colleges and universities anyway, right? Not everybody can go to IITs, that's for 1%. But still there are a lot of smart people, a lot of talented people, a lot of very very nice people who deserve to be recognized, but they're not getting recognized just because they're not from the right college. That was the initial point of Testament, my first company. We started with a journal, a print publication, a weekly journal for IP University where we studied, and we got 12,000 paying subscribers in the first month itself. It was a print publication, right? So people had to pay to get that tabloid. And that's where we began. We thought like if we had a publication, let's say a Harvard Crimson or a Harvard Business Review or MIT Tech Review in India for Indian colleges, but not for IITs, but for tier 2. So all the talent that exists in these colleges, these universities can get recognized and can get uh, you know uh, visible and connected and so on and so forth. Because even in our college we saw so many talented people, and they were not known even in college, which was such a waste. So that's when we began. We got recognized by all sorts of newspapers in the country. Everybody hailed us. We were promised money from the entrepreneurship development cell of the college itself. But then we launched the paper and it worked really well. And then we launched three editions, and that we after we got covered by from all sorts of newspapers, Hindi and English, HT, Navbharat Times, Rashtriya Sahara, and then the money was pulled away from us. Like the college management, the university management just refused to pay. So we had a print publication going, and we didn't have money because these people stopped you know, the fund.
Right.
So we pivoted, we changed our course. We went online media. We created Facebook pages. Our Facebook pages went to 1.3 million people. Like we had a mechanical engineering rocks page, we had electrical electronics engineering page, we had testament
How
page, and
much
so on.
did it take this time?
I'm sorry.
Reaching 1. Reaching 1.3 million. How much time did this take?
In a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so Facebook pages were very big at that time, 2012.
So
You
we
know,
can imagine the type of content that you guys were doing.
yeah, yeah, all
That
engineering
would
kind of
have been
stuff.
really, yes, actually.
Yeah,
Please continue. Yeah.
so yeah, we were working hard on that, and then we thought like nobody cares about this publication thing online. It doesn't make a lot of money. At that time, influencer marketing wasn't a thing, you know. Uh, so we thought of educating people like you're trying to educate people. We started a training and development thing where we used to sell training courses to people, to students, right? And these training courses used to cost us, and then we used to be the affiliate marketing partner. So we became a platform for all these career launchers and CAD centers and so on and so forth, where all our people across the nation could use these services. And whenever they used to hire these coaching institutes, we used to get a cut. And also personality development, soft skill development courses, not just gate preparation and CAD preparation stuff. So we did that, and that was fun. But we realized nobody wants to pay for actually authentic courses, like which can help. People are paying for CAT preparation, but that's not, you know, and gate preparation, but nobody wants to pay for something that actually adds to their skills. They're just chasing another degree, like idiots, and we didn't want to do that. And we it wasn't fun for us to be affiliate marketing partners for career launcher or CAD center. We don't believe in that kind of stuff. I'm a very, very anti formal education myself. So, as like, I'm making people do MBA, man. I make fun of MBAs all the time. And, it's just funny that I'm selling MBA courses and I'm making fun of them 24/7. So, then we were like, let's tie up with these companies so that they could hire these college people for marketing, sales, and market research projects, because that we saw everybody wanted a paid internship, right? And we had an active workforce of people, so many people on the web. So we thought some of those people would be interested in doing these projects, marketing, market research, sales projects for companies. And then we began doing the testament, the manpower outsourcing thing. That's when things started working, because now companies wanted these projects like a marketing drive or a sales drive or a market research drive. And we had so many people, and we used to hire these people for a month. We used to pay them like good 16,000, 20,000 rupees as internship money. Do you get real experience on ground, telephonic experience of talking to businesses and companies and so on and so forth. And we used to get money. So we were still in college, but as soon as we were graduating from college, we were doing like 1.2 crores in revenues with 20 lakh PAT. So, bootstrap, profitable, multi crore business right out of college. So that was our goal actually, that we didn't want to sit in placements after the college ended. Matlab, I didn't want to sit in the placements, man. That was my goal. I just want to build something that can employ me, and that was sort of accomplished when we were graduating. So we started we had so many people in the course of like 3-4 years. We worked with 1,500 people. We employed 1,500 people across 300 cities of this country. We worked with 150 companies across the nation, big and small, PSU startups, Fortune 500 companies, SMEs. companies of all shapes and sizes, you know. Uh, and then we built products, they didn't work out, due to which the Testament, which is the core company that we started, also started to falter. That's when I began my second company, Spot Health. Uh, Spot Health was doing very well. In 2019, we began, and we had cloud kitchens. We were a social network for health. So like Bumble for health, right? So sports dating is a
That's something
concept that we
innovating.
yeah we brought this thing called sports dating, where people used to make dates for workouts and stuff like that. And sports groups, people used to form communities. We had the largest cycling community in Delhi, and we did a lot of this stuff. But then COVID happened, you know. So we had cloud kitchens, one in Dwarka, one in Gurgaon, and there's so many people employed in those cloud kitchens, 4 food carts and so on. But then COVID happened and we got screwed. Then COVID came once, then twice, then thrice. you know, so it was horrible. So we stopped Spot Health in 2022. Actually, it had to get stopped because I took the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and the next day I developed something called tinnitus. Tinnitus is when your ears start ringing all the time, like you like "Tee" in your ears all the time. And tinnitus and hyperacusis is when you get pained by the sound. So like the fan hurts you, every little sound causes physical pain in your ears. तो मेरी तबीयत खराब हो गई थी, तो I was like यार, this is not gonna work out, man, you know. So I had to stop Spot Health. And even then, even if I didn't have the health scare, it was proving to be very difficult with COVID. So Spot Health got over in 2022 Jan. By 2021 December, we winded up everything. 2022 Jan, I just started doing, you know, since the ear thing was on, I felt very scared about my life as a musician, because I've been playing music for 20 years almost. And I was like, now I might just become deaf, man, you know. I might lose my hearing, because tinnitus is often associated with hearing loss and stuff. So I was very, very scared. I was like, shit, man, what if I lose my hearing? So I started focusing on music and also startup ideas on the sideways. So I did a lot of music in 2022, and we launched a lot of songs, and these songs uh, have earned us like 5 lakh streams on the internet, half a million streams. But then I was also working on startup ideas on the sideways, and these startup ideas, kept me excited about thing, because I obviously had worked for over 10 years now, right? I started in 2012, my first year in college, and since then I was working continuously. So I startup ideas kept me alive, and that's when I started with the thought of Seneca, the distraction free smartphone, right? But I knew that distraction free smartphone is going to be a very expensive exercise, so I might just not be able to gather enough money for it. So what I thought was like, I thought a lot about it. I drew its plan and everything, and they just wrote its open pitch, and I posted it online. I was like, यार पता नहीं ये 40 करोड़ तो मिलेंगे नहीं मिलेंगे, पता नहीं, बहुत ही कम लाइक्लीहुड है कि ये मिलेंगे. बट मैं अपना पूरा का पूरा ब्लू प्रिंट ड्रॉ कर देता हूँ कि क्या करूंगा मैं, कैसे करूंगा, एंड आई जस्ट पुट इट आउट देयर, लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस. And then that open pitch went viral. And then that went viral like 30 lakh views and stuff, and I was like, oh god. And that went viral so much that I started getting calls from US
Mhm,
investors and UK investors, and
mhm,
all sorts of Indians, and they started putting in money. So I never thought I'd be able to raise money, but I've already got like 1.45 crores, 1 crore 45 lakh rupees for for Seneca. And our goal is like 40 crores, right? So at 10 crore we start hiring. So in no time you will see that like a few funds join in, and it's gonna be 5 million in no time, right? So that was just like a Destiny's Child kind of a thing. Okay, awesome. I wrote an open pitch, it got viral, and now I'm always swimming in offers from investors. Like everybody just wants to invest because the idea has sort of clicked and stuff. So that's my journey. I'm doing music a lot. In fact, even now, right now, I'm in the studio.
Nishant, you got muted. You got mute. Yeah,
Yes.
now you're audible.
Yeah. So even now I'm in the studio. It's a Sunday, beautiful Sunday. So that's my story. That's pretty much it.
You talked about a
So
lot
going,
of stuff. I think that, sorry, Shivam, you want to go?
no, please continue.
Okay. So, Nishant, you talked about the edtech, and hey, I can relate to edtech. And you talked about affiliate marketing. I remember my college days, and I passed out computer science engineering in 2017. And what happened? My journey basically started, basically with Harsh Agarwal when he was there in Hyderabad and he was doing an event, and he came like, okay, the event was about blogging, and I was so naive at that point of time that I was like, you are talking about blog, and then you are not building on Blogspot. Like Blogspot is blog. Like, if you add a domain, that's no more a blog. So that naive I was at that point of time. But eventually, what happened that I considered myself, and I did a event in the college, and it was like, oh, there are 30 other teams which are doing event, but we are the only team which have websites. So yeah, like we are very unique in terms of what we are proposing to the people. And the website was literally built on Wix drag and drop. So despite being a computer science engineer, we didn't build our own responsive and all this website, but it was still a proud moment because among those 30-35 teams, we were the only the team which was making it happen. So my event name was Techtainment, and then I took the domain name Techtainment later, and then purchased hosting by purchase borrowing money from my father, 3,500. And I'm not sure if you know about this. You might have heard definitely Bluehost hosting. So yeah, and basically started from there, and then made my first $963 from Google AdSense, and it happened at the time of Geo. And basically the process was there was a time when people were standing in queue to get the Geo SIM card, and they didn't have this access to the barcode. And I wrote this article, how to get Geo barcode, and I published it, right? And I published it. And what happened that while I was doing it, while I was learning blogging, I saw one of other website which also wrote the same article. But what happened eventually there was, he kept a locker. Like, to download the APK, you need to share that article on Facebook or Twitter to get that download link. And I was like, oh, this guy is crazy. So what I did was I also implemented the same thing. And eventually there was a boost in traffic, from having like 7 visitors, 10 visitors, to suddenly it started exponentially growing to 300 visitors. Then 1,700 visitors, then 2,300 visitors. So something like that, it grown. And um, maybe just for the sake of marketing, maybe I can say that before Ambani made his profit from it, I made my $963 by promoting his content, and people were sharing this on social media, and they were coming, and the whole blog was monetized. And for me, the story started from there. And with the money which I got, I purchased two second-hand laptops for my friends who agreed to work with me after looking at that money. And then we took it forward in 4 or 5 blogs. We did a lot of affiliate marketing here and there, and then it went forward. So I think that we somewhere connect on the affiliate marketing level. It's a great way to learn marketing and the general operation. And I really appreciate that you took that term affiliate marketing, because that is something which reduces everything. You don't have to manage the inventory. You don't have to worry about that the truck guy is coming or not. You just share the link and be worry free. If someone purchases, you got your commission, you got your amount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody is asking here, what is PAT? PAT is profit after tax, man. And how to do market research, market sizing is based on a lot of assumptions and a lot of you've got to think about it. Let's say you want to should we talk about this? Like, somebody's asking, I'm seeing on LinkedIn, like, how
sure,
do you
sure.
Sure,
do
sure.
market sizing?
Let us keep it
Uh,
interactive.
let's have a
We can
quick
take questions
introduction.
and keep it. Yeah,
Yeah. Why not? So look, man, if you're trying to do market sizing, okay, a very good example I did of market sizing recently in one of my LinkedIn posts was elections. So ShareChat was trying to do political advertising. Okay. Now political advertising का क्या market होगा? Just let's think about political advertising का total market इंडिया में क्या हो सकता है, राइट? सो अगर आप पॉलिटिकल एडवर्टाइजिंग का टोटल मार्केट देखेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि इंडिया में कुछ 60 करोड़ वोटर्स हैं, ठीक है? 60 करोड़ वोटर्स हैं इंडिया में, और इंडिया में इलेक्शंस होते हैं 5 साल में एक बारी। अब ये मानो कि 60 करोड़ वोटर्स हैं और 5 साल में एक इलेक्शन हो रहा है। एक इलेक्शन हो रहा है लोकसभा का इलेक्शन, जो सेंट्रल इलेक्शन है। फिर एक हो रहा है एक स्टेट इलेक्शन। फिर एक हो रहा है सिटी इलेक्शन जो हो रहा है, ठीक है? तो अगर आप सेंट्रल इलेक्शन को मान लो, अभी सेंट्रल इलेक्शन में आपको 60 करोड़ लोगों को कन्विंस करना है, ठीक है? तो क्या कितने पैसे लगते हैं एक वोट खरीदने में इंडिया में? दैट्स व्हाट यू गॉट टू रियलाइज। अब एक वोट खरीदने के लिए आपको क्या क्या करना है? आप या तो मैसेज करोगे या एड डालोगे या कुछ भी करोगे। आप मान लो अगर आप एक वोट खरीदना चाह रहे हो इंडिया में तो इंडिया में एक दारू की बोतल से वोट खरीद लिया जाता है, ठीक है? तो आप एक वोट की कॉस्ट का प्रॉक्सी मान सकते हो एक ओल्ड मॉन्क की बॉटल या फिर जो भी बॉटल है दारू की। तो आप ये मान लो कि 150 रुपीज में एक बॉटल आ गई दारू की, ठीक है? क्योंकि आपने देखा ही होगा इंडिया में इलेक्शंस में फ्लिप तो हो ही जाते हैं इलेक्शंस एक दारू की बोतल से एट द एंड ऑफ इट, राइट? जाते हैं लोग, ठीक है? आप देखोगे कि ऐसा ही होता है। तो अब आप क्यों ना उस दारू की बॉटल को एक ट्रांजैक्शन कॉस्ट मान लो 150 रुपीज, ठीक है? अब 150 रुपीज में आपको कितनी बॉटल्स देनी पड़ेंगी टू बी एबल टू यू नो बाय द इलेक्शन? 60 करोड़ वोटर का क्या सीन होगा? दैट्स व्हाट यू गॉट टू फिगर आउट। तो अब मैंने ये देखा, मेरी एक पोस्ट में मैंने लिखा था कि एक इलेक्शन है। जस्ट वेट, लेट मी सेकंड, लेट मी जस्ट पुल दैट पोस्ट आउट, तो मेरे को सारी कैलकुलेशंस याद आ जाएंगी। और अगर नहीं
By
भी
the way,
आएंगे तो हम यहाँ पे फिगर आउट कर लेंगे, क्योंकि दैट्स व्हाट यू नो दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंस। आप आराम से उस चीज को फिगर आउट कर सकते हो। मार्केट साइजिंग को ऐसे ही कैलकुलेट किया जाता है। क्या होगा मार्केट साइज का सीन, राइट? तो अब आपने देखा कि 60 करोड़ लोग हैं, ठीक है? और आपको एक इलेक्शन स्पिन करना है। आप कितने लोगों को एक बॉटल पिलाओगे, ठीक है, टू बी एबल टू स्पिन द इलेक्शन? दैट्स व्हाट यू गॉट टू फिगर आउट। जस्ट वन सेकेंड, आई हैव ऑलरेडी डन ऑल ऑफ दिस मैथ, तो मैं पूरा दोबारा से रीइन्वेंट करूंगा मील, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा मेरे को। जस्ट लेट मी पुल आउट द मैथ फॉर यू एंड वील बी एबल टू easily learn about this. This is a very important, I love doing these market sizing exercises. They are very important, firstly very important, very engaging, and very intelligent also अगर आप ये करेंगे regularly, so it's a very good exercise, you know. Just give me a second, I'm pulling
by
that
the
out.
way, आपके जो रिसर्च के जो मीन्स है एंड द वे यू हैव स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग योर स्टार्टअप, इससे वी कैन वेरी वेल बिलीव दैट यू आर क्वाइट अ क्रिएटिव पर्सन। और क्रिएटिविटी एक दिस इज समथिंग व्हाट which should be there in almost every entrepreneur. The moment you start building your brand, this sort of creativity might take you at various heights. जैसे कि मैं दूसरी एग्जांपल अगर मैं दूं तो जो आपका ओपन पिच है, so the way you have made your open pitch, we don't see often founders sending and posting their pitch online,
Mm-hmm.
but this is something again unique and this has worked well for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I got this. तो sorry for keeping you waiting guys, I'll just, तो 140 करोड़ लोग हैं इंडिया में, 100 करोड़ वोटर्स हैं अप्रोक्सीमेटली, ठीक है? तो आप ये मानो कि 125 रुपीज की एक बॉटल आप खरीद के देंगे एक बंदे को। आप कुछ भी नहीं देंगे, आप कोई न्यूज़पेपर में ऐड नहीं डालेंगे, आप कोई मैगजीन में ऐड नहीं डालेंगे, आप कोई फेसबुक पे ऐड नहीं डालेंगे, आप जाएंगे बंदे को 125 रुपीज की एक बॉटल दे देंगे। ठीक है? दैट्स योर इलेक्शन स्ट्रैटेजी, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कई विलेजेस में अभी भी ये होता है। तो आपको 100 करोड़ लोगों को 125 रुपए की एक बॉटल देनी पड़ेगी। ठीक है, 12,500 करोड़ आपने स्पेंड कर दिए। ठीक है, अब आप एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हैं, ऐसी दो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं इंडिया में मेजर, तो 25,000 करोड़ रुपीज स्पेंड हो गया। ठीक है, 25,000 करोड़ रुपी हर 5 साल में स्पेंड हुआ ऑन अ मेजर इलेक्शन विच इज द लोकसभा इलेक्शन। अब आप ये मान लो कि एक तो लोकसभा इलेक्शन है, एक सिटी इलेक्शन है, एक यू नो जो स्टेट इलेक्शंस होते हैं, तो वो टोटल मार्केट साइज आपका आ गया 25,000 फॉर लोकसभा, 12,500 फॉर द स्मॉलर इलेक्शंस। तो टोटल मार्केट साइज आपका क्या आया? 37,400 करोड़। ठीक है, अब 37,400 करोड़ आया 5 साल का मार्केट। 5 ईयर्स में आपने 37,500 करोड़ का मार्केट लिया, क्योंकि आप हर किसी को एक एक ओल्ड मॉन्क की बॉटल दे रहे थे। अब 37,500 करोड़ डिवाइडेड बाय 5, क्योंकि 5 साल का था ये, तो आपका ईयरली मार्केट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल एडवर्टाइजिंग 7,500 करोड़ आया, अकॉर्डिंग टू अ गेस्टिमेट दैट वी डिड फॉर मार्केट साइजिंग। ठीक है, मार्केट साइजिंग इंडियन पॉलिटिकल एड मार्केट की आई, अकॉर्डिंग टू माई कैलकुलेशंस, 7,500 करोड़। अब now you check the figure, actual figure. You do the research and you'll find out that India spends around 7,000 rupees, 7,000 crore rupees annually on political elections and stuff. जो नोटेड फिगर्स हैं वो हैं 1,500 2,000 करोड़। तो आपको पता ही है इंडिया में पॉलिटिकल एडवर्टाइजिंग जो है आधी ब्लैक में होती है, आधी नहीं, 1/3 ब्लैक में होती है, 1/4 ब्लैक में होती है। तो अगर 1,000 करोड़ पॉइंटेड फिगर है, तो एक्चुअल फिगर 7,000 करोड़ है, 6,000 करोड़ है ऑब्वियसली। 2,000 करोड़ अगर पॉइंटेड फिगर है तो एक्चुअल करोड़ 6,000 करोड़ है, 8,000 करोड़ है। सो दिस इज हाउ यू डू द मार्केट साइजिंग। आपको किसी भी चीज की मार्केट साइजिंग करने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी अगर आपके पास एक इंफॉर्मेशन है जो फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल है, मतलब बिल्कुल बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास होनी चाहिए, और उस बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन से यू कैन यू नो बिल्ड योर वे अप and do the market sizing for any business. Like you can pick any business, and even in this conversation we'll begin and we'll come out with market sizing figures. So that's how you do it. I hope whoever asked that question uske liye thoda sa kuch valuable raha ho.
Absolutely. And I would like to add something to this on top of it. So the thing is, there is this term MEC, and mostly this is often used in the consulting firms. Often you see Big Fours and McKinsey, Bain, and the giants, the consulting giants. And the term MEC stands for mutually exhaustive, uh, mutually inclusive, collectively exhaustive. So the term is, as we go deep down, we have any the way you have mentioned this guesstimate method. So we need to guess at first. The moment we start guessing the terms, we need to get down to the roots, and we need to analyze that. We need to break the problem. We need to break the problem in such pieces that if we gather all the pieces together, will form the whole of the problem. So this term has made this term has worked mostly for the consulting giants whenever they try to solve any problem or any issue for any of the country or companies. So this term is usually actually used well for the guesstimate method as well, and you guys can have a look on this term.
So as you guys are discussing, like, market research, what I personally feel is when the first time founder is getting started, he may pick, like, a very saturated niche, and he can go and build product around that, which can be often challenging. And for me, I'm a, like, core marketer and a software engineer, and most of my things, like, revolve around marketing. And like when we got started, like, there was no such goal that, hey, we have to reach to the market. For us, it's more or less like, hey, if there is an audience, we are going to target using search. If people are searching on Google, then we are going to search that what exactly is the search volume and how the industry is growing. Like, are people going to search about it more and more, or the trend is decreasing? And based on that, we take this decision that either we should go in terms of search and rank these specific keywords, or we should go the other way. If people are not searching for this product or service, then we go the social media way on educating people that this service exists, and then going there. So this strategy, when I talk about I worked with BMW, Hetero, L&T, also Hindi Recipe, and many other companies, and we generally worked on the organic side of it. We also worked on the paid, but in organic side, we reached on a level where we drove 45 million plus traffic, and of course billions of impressions and clicks, you can say, not clicks, but impressions, you can say. So the way we as a company, in terms of web, we do our research using tools like SEM Rush, or we use keywords everywhere. If you want to note this name, it is basically said SEMRUSH, using which you'll be able to find out the search keywords which are being searched by people from your industry, and then you can add it up, and then you can see that what kind of market you'll be able to target through web. If your audience is offline, then you should look at it, that where your audience is, and based on that you should do your research and see that how you'll be able to reach. So for us, we do not trust really McKinsey data and all, but we actually depend a lot on what exactly is happening on the web. If my business or my client is targeting everyone through the web, we'll try to find out that if they are on social media or if they are on search, and how I will be able to target. Because what happens eventually, that you get this big numbers, and when you try to market it, all those numbers becomes invalid, and at that point of time, what happens, that it becomes very tough to target those people and satisfy the investor. Because investor you shown that big figure, but in reality you are actually getting very small number, you don't have that audience to market, and that becomes often a challenge. So we take this approach, and for us it feels more or less a very realistic approach to reach this way, and it becomes easier for us as well to reach those numbers. So yeah.
Actually, that's some quite insight. Now, moving ahead, now as we have the main theme of our cohort, and the theme is about sustainability. What measures, what sustainable measures, and what sort of roadmap should the early stage startups be taking so that their startup not just sustains, not just survives, but also remains profitable in coming days? So I would like, so now we can have a discussion on this. Moving on to Nishant. So what do you think, Nishant? What has been your journey in a way that what has helped you reaching out to millions, and what has helped, what has been the key lessons and the learnings that you have made, and you won't, and now you would like to enhance those or completely change the way that you have been doing till now? So moving on, please.
I mean, I didn't get the question. You, like, how do we make sure that the business runs? Is that the question?
Yes. So how do we make sure the business runs, not just
Hmm.
runs, but it also remains profitable in coming years
Yeah, of
or
course. If
coming
it's not
days?
profitable, it will not run, right?
Right.
Right.
So
So
there has been this one issue in the current ecosystem, that even we see there are unicorns companies are, I won't take any names, but there
no,
are
no, you can
companies,
take names. So that's a different deal, yeah. Matlab, that's not
yes,
a normal business, That's like they are playing a different game, and
yes,
they're not a regular business at all. So you got to realize that every company has a business model, and some companies have a business model of selling their shares. Okay, so you might
right,
just be in a business of selling a product or a service and making money based on that transaction, but a lot of companies are in the business of selling their shares. They're running a Ponzi scheme. Okay, so they begin with a company, 100 shares. They sell those 100 shares at a particular price. Let's say they sell the shares at 10 rupees. The first fundraising round happens. They raise $1 million. The company is valued at $50 million. And then the next round they raise a $5 million, and the same shares. So the company gets valued at $250 million. Then they again sell their shares for 10 million, $50 million. Then the company's valued at $5 billion. So essentially, they are selling the shares of the company. That's their primary business model. Okay. Then they've got to figure out, okay, यार अब share company की valuation इतनी हो गई है तो अब we might just have to make money also. Then they figure out business later, much later. In some cases, they don't figure out the business at all. ठीक है? And that's the game that they're playing. And they're lucky to be playing that game because they have investors who are willing to fund that kind of scheme. And, you know, but that's a different business. अब उसमें आप ये सोचें कि यार why are they not profitable, you know, why is Flipkart not profitable? Flipkart never made money, you know, Flipkart is still making loss. Who cares? Flipkart made losses, but its value grew every time, and after a point it was sold to Walmart, and Walmart makes like $500 billion in revenue, man, you know. And Walmart doesn't care if Flipkart makes losses even now of 3,000, 4,000 crore rupees a year, because 3,000, 4,000 crore rupees is $500 million for Walmart. And they're working at a scale of 480 billion dollars a year, you know. So $500 million is chicken shit for them. So you've got to understand कि क्या है अब normal businesses जो हैं, the businesses who have to make money, who have to grow organically, who have to like do an honest work, you know, who are not a Ponzi scheme, who are not a scam, who are not anything else, who are just like they make money, they make more money than they spend. Wo business, they only work when they make money. So the business doesn't work, and not everybody is fortunate enough to be in that place where these people are, you know, that they can keep raising money at a higher valuation, you know, by showing growth. Now that's Zepto, man, you know, that's Snapdeal, that's ShareChat, that's everybody else, you know. They are not businesses, they're doing a different thing. Businesses are noise, businesses are Zoho, you know, Zerodha, and millions other businesses, like all the small businesses in the country, all the medium businesses, all the large businesses also. If you look at all the legacy businesses that this country has, Singhanias, all the families, they make money, right? Because the business is supposed to make money. That's
Oh,
capitalism 101.
Nishant, your audio has been like, a little bit disturbed. Can you just check the plug maybe? Yeah.
Is it disturbed? No,
Yeah,
it shouldn't
now
be
it's
Now it's
disturbed.
better.
good. That's good.
It's good now.
Okay. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's what it is. Now to figure out that how you run the business so it runs profitably, it's just very simple. The business has to make more money than it spends. It's very simple, you know. आपको कुछ और करना ही नहीं. You just need to make sure कि यार the business needs to make more money than it spends in a particular duration. अगर आपके पास 2 साल के पैसे रखे हुए हैं या 1 साल के पैसे रखे हुए हैं या 6 महीने के पैसे रखे हुए हैं, तो आपको मेक श्योर करना है कि 6 महीने के बाद वो बिजनेस जो है वो ज्यादा पैसे बनाएगा. हर महीने 100 रुपए लगाएं तो 120 रुपए 130 रुपए आने चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं आ पाएंगे तो वो बिजनेस बंद हो जाएगा. दैट्स इट, यू नो. इट्स नॉट रॉकेट साइंस. इट्स नॉट रॉकेट
Abs-
साइंस.
Absolutely, these principles are on top of the lane. But as we go deep down, we need to analyze that how should we generate double the income that we are spending. So, talking about those
You pick
strategy,
about pick
what
the business, right? I mean, that's a very very broad and sort of vague question, क्योंकि the question essentially is how do you be profitable, you know. Then the question can be answered like you make a lot of money, number one, or you spend less, you know, you are extremely frugal, so you can make more money, or you just make a lot of money and even then you spend a lot, so you end up saving money. Right now, how do you make more money? You make a product which sells more. How do you make a product which sells more? You know, that's another question. Or you make a product which doesn't sell a lot but which is very expensive, it has heavy margins, right? You pick a product which is extremely high margin, like 70-80% gross margin. Now, how do you pick a product with that kind of gross margins? How do you sustain that gross margins? You've got to be very very specific as far as the kind of questions you ask in order to get the right answers, because the broader the question is, the more wasteful its answer is. Like people can go on about their lives, you know, in a question like that. You get it?
So Nishant, like as you are talking about, like spending less and earning more.
Hmm.
I remember one of ways Nawal described it, and I love this analogy because I was able to relate it after maybe if I count number of website start, maybe my number will go beyond 40 45. And what I learned from him was it is very very important to be clear initially and understand that what are scalable businesses and what are non-scalable businesses, what are assetless businesses and what are asset heavy businesses. If you talk about railway or if you talk about any manufacturing company, it requires crores and crores of rupees as investment. But if we talk about media, right, media as let's say NDTV, or we talk about India Times, people know in general that India Times and NDTV are news publishing companies. But when I go and when I analyze them, what I find out that 70 to 80% of traffic coming on these websites are actually recurring traffic. These people are not just publishing news which gets sale in 4 or 5 days, but these people target all this long term and traffic heavy keywords like something like aloo curry recipe, and these people rank on that. And a lot of people do not realize this, that how this media can be used in either in SaaS business or either in education business or healthcare. And what they feel is just building a website and expecting a lot of money from VC can actually help out. But turns out that if we look at some of the most traffic driving websites, we can take example of these and we can find out that, oh, this can actually be interesting and this can be picked up from here and it can be implemented in my business. So can you talk a little bit around it?
I simply couldn't understand anything you said.
Okay, sure. Let me try to speak in other way. So let's say that there is Dettol, right?
Yeah.
Dettol has to sell its soap and it also has to sell other liquids which it sells. And
Uh huh.
Dettol advertises on TV, and Dettol also ranks it for its keyword on Google when you search something related to health,
Hmm.
but it doesn't sell it from there directly. What they use this mediums for is basically to deliver the message and keep the branding keep the branding to the people. And what eventually happens that once people get educated around it, the trust remains there, and uh, basically this company continues to add value from this to improve their sales and retain that trust. So what I mean to say here is a lot of businesses or a lot of startups which start today do not use these mediums to educate people, but they often go on the advertising side, spending money on Facebook or Google. And what eventually happens that they lose a lot of money on marketing. Almost 70 to 80% of the total funds they have goes around this, and they end up losing the game, and that is what happens. So that's what I mean to say here.
So, is there a question at the end?
Yes, the question is how do we educate people around this, that hey, it's not just advertising but there is more to this, and how to look at this in long term and spend less.
So you can't do long term, na Rana. Matlab,
Mhm.
people's people have different definitions of long term. Dettol can think long term because it is a 20,000 crore company, right? Rekit Benkesser makes 15,000 crore rupees from India alone, right? So Rekit Benkesser can think long term, because it has a cash corpus of 5,000 crores, and it makes like 1,500, 2,000 crores a year in profits, right? A startup which like two people selling soaps, let's say, they can't think long term, you know they have to make sure that unke wo they have like 500 soaps की inventory, वो 500 soaps की inventory जानी चाहिए, right? So they will go for Facebook ads or Google ads, and they will think about performance marketing, is probably what you're saying, right? That conversions on every click, right? They're trying to sell because they can't afford to go long term. अब उनको बेचना ही है ना भाई, वो क्या करेंगे ब्रांडिंग करके लॉन्ग टर्म, लोगों को मैसेज दे के लोगों के साथ एक रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड करके, अगर उनका ये बिका नहीं तो वो 2 महीने में बैंकरप्ट हो जाएगी वो कंपनी, उसका कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा सीन, राइट? So they can't think about all those things essentially, and this is why they don't think long term. So मेरे हिसाब से there's nothing, you know, it's not a fight, मतलब ये कोई conflict है ही नहीं. You think about long term or short term based on your situation, and I think a person doing Facebook ads at that scale, it makes sense. I don't see a problem there. वो नहीं कर सकता branding यार.
So the only problem here, like which we often see, like I understand, like the point of view which you are putting here, that if you got money, you can think long term. But eventually,
हाँ.
what happens that it's also very much related to mindset, how they are thinking about it. For
नहीं,
example,
माइंडसेट से क्या होगा? आप ये बताओ, मेरे पास नहीं है पैसे, मेरे पास 1,00,000 रुपए हैं
right?
और
You
मेरे
can
पास
still
रखा हुआ है
separate.
500 रुपए, 500
Mm-hmm,
सोप्स मेरे को बेचने हैं, और अगर उन सोप से 10,000 रुपए का प्रॉफिट आना था या
mm-hmm,
20,000 रुपए का
mm-hmm,
प्रॉफिट आना था, ठीक
right.
है? अब मेरे पास 20,000 रुपए हैं, मैं उस 20,000 रुपए में व्हाट विल आई बी एबल टू डू? यू टेल मी.
See, you can cut 30% of the amount, and you can likely hire a couple of interns who can work on the content side, and then you can still allocate 70% of budget on the performance side, and that will eventually
30,000 रुपए, 20,000 का 30% is 6,000 rupees. 6,000
it's
rupees में
okay.
you have like 2 interns who are gonna do what? Those 3,000 rupee
Content.
people are gonna create content which will make a brand. 100 लोग भी नहीं देखेंगे यार उस कंटेंट को.
No,
कौन सी ब्रांड
let us
बनेगी आपकी?
see. I will say that जब हमने ट्रैफिक ड्राइव किया था, like very first in the very first case, like टेनमेंट के केस में, तो उसमें हुआ ये था कि we started from very scratch, and we went on even silly questions, like do I need a computer for doing computer science engineering? And while writing this article, I felt stupid that who is going to ask, because it's a very simple answer. Yes, of course you need, computer for doing computer science engineering. But after like 1.5 year, what I saw was almost 1,300 people read that article, and almost it has, like, I guess, 43,000 or something, impressions around it. So it
No,
often
you can
feels like
you can
this way.
obviously write stuff, but
Mm-hmm,
my concern is that knowledge needs to be very contextualized. You know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
कई केसेस में नहीं है वो. जैसे अब कुछ नहीं कर सकते आप उस, अगर आप, मेरे को नहीं पता वो 1,300 वर्ड्स पे, 1,300 व्यूज पे कितने, क्या बेच पाए आप, कितना बेच
Uh,
पाए, कितने ट्रांजैक्शन आ पाए, आई डोंट नो. मतलब आपने हो सकता है बेच भी लिया हो, बट
mhm,
माय
mhm, mhm.
कोर मैसेज इज दैट knowledge needs to be contextualized, especially this kind of knowledge कि यार आप ब्रांडिंग पे काम करो, आप कन्वर्जन्स, आप सोच रहे हो फेसबुक ऐड चलाओगे, गूगल ऐड चलाओगे, उससे लोग खरीदेंगे, आप पहले ब्रांडिंग पे काम करो. यार नहीं हो सकता, कई 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 केसेस में नहीं हो सकता, यू नो.
Acha. Sure. I agree with that. That in there will be cases where it can't be done. I will give
या
maybe
इनफैक्ट
another.
90% ऑफ केसेस जो यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, जो बिल्कुल जिनके पास पैसे ही नहीं है, लिखो तुम, कंटेंट तो लिखना ही चाहिए, वो तो तुम्हारी एक हाइजीन भी होनी चाहिए कि हाँ, यू आर पुटिंग आउट मैसेजेस, यू आर पुटिंग आउट, यू आर एंगेजिंग पीपल, यू आर आंसरिंग देयर क्वेश्चंस एंड सो ऑन. लेकिन ब्रास टैक्स जिसे बोलते हैं ना, बिल्कुल ही मूल 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 बात क्या है, मतलब व्हाट्स द बॉटम लाइन? बॉटम लाइन इज दैट आई नीड टू मेक 20,000 30,000 रुपीज दिस मंथ.
Hmm.
ठीक है, आई हैव लाइक 1,00,000 रुपए का सामान. अब मुझे 1,00,000 रुपए के सामान को बेचना है ताकि एंड में जाके 20-30 हजार रुपए आ जाए, बस. दैट इज द बॉटम लाइन, यू नो. However that happens. You get it?
So, like, I see that. I see, how you are considering it. There are, different ways to do the stuff. Like, for example, if we say, okay, I will give you one good example. So I was talking about, driving this 45 million. So there is one of the website on which we worked on, and it was competing actually with NDTV. NDTV has, I think, more than 1,500 employees, I guess so. And what eventually happened that NDTV, India Times, these people are very, very heavy in the food industry. And the reason why food industry, because over a period of time, like, kachori recipe and aloo curry recipe or samosa recipe doesn't change, unlike, iPhone X or iPhone, 14. uh, what happened here that we were competing with them, We were nowhere initially. Our traffic grew like, from having 17 visitors to 70 visitors, and slowly. And over a period of almost 2.5 years, we came to the first position, and there were literally three people working on this, one being the tech side, two being the content. And what eventually happened that we started like, gaining traction, and we created recipe like, groups around where people came and shared recipes. We took the help of community, and till today it has been almost 3.5 to 4 years. Like, if you search for Hindi recipe keyword on Google, we are ranking number one or number two, and the team is still less than four. There has been some support from the community, which is not very big. And like, all these companies, like, as you're saying, that big companies will be investing big, like India Times or NDTV. These people have been competing like anything, but they have been not able to outrank us for 3.5 to 4 years. So I understand, like, the point of view which you are saying, that hey, how can you save like resources if you have limited budget? But the way I like, or let's say that for us it went forward was like, we tried keeping almost 25 to 30% of the total amount aside, because we didn't had any other option. And that, like, separation took us in a position where we went around like, driving almost 1,20,000 traffic. And then eventually, like 3 months ago, 2.5 to 3 months ago, we drove almost 7.5 million users, and all of these were like, organic. So I understand the point of view which you are saying, but what I personally feel with the experience is like, a separation there, making the change there, like, that we can allocate maybe 30% of the budget there, can make a good difference, like, over a period of time, although it cannot be visible in 1 to 2 months. Yeah.
Sure.
Actually, makes more sense when we especially consider the industry and the domain we are talking about.
हाँ मैं यही कह रहा
Sure.
हूँ मतलब that's what I'm saying, you know, the global gyan of anything is useless.
Right.
It's
Right.
pointless. It's absolute bullshit, for the lack of a better word. The gyan, the knowledge, it needs to be contextualized. It needs to be personalized, case to case.
Would you
You
say
know,
ChatGPT is doing that little bit here and there?
Chat GPT, of course, it's doing a lot of uh, personal. It's that's whole game of Chat GPT, right? It's basically answering to everybody, everything. You know, I mean, all business advice, especially, it needs to be very contextualized. You know, Rana made those articles about food and food recipes, and he got that rank. But how that knowledge translates to somebody, let's say, who's selling spare parts, okay, online or whatever, it's it has to be very very contextualized. You cannot just take gyan from one place and put it there. So that's what I was saying, Shivam. You know, questions need to be very very pointed, so the answers become, valuable. Right now, like this guy is asking, how do you track thousands of pages page rank on Google? Somebody, Umang Shukla, is asking. Probably Rana would be the better person to
Sure. Thank you.
judge
So,
it. There's this one question, which is how to get full knowledge about businesses and startups, what we read, learn, and work. Being a law student, I want to explore startups and businesses, but how? Sure, I'll answer that one. First, you go, Rana, with this. How do you track thousands of pages page rank on Google?
thank you. So, Umang, the very first thing, like, what I would like to say is, if because, like, I would like to personalize this message to early stage entrepreneurs. If you're just getting started, do not worry about tools, because tools are expensive. If you go and purchase the premium version of SEMrush, it is going to cost you $120, which is too expensive. Maybe you can get like, maybe you can get a shared version of it, which has been happening in India, which you can get for cheaper, but like, it doesn't have all the features. So if you are trying to like, drive traffic from Google, then don't worry about like, tracking all the keywords, because hundreds and hundreds of keyword even for smaller site will be added, and lakhs of keywords will be like, added if you have bigger site, like, something like, let's say, the digital hacker, or maybe like NDTV will have millions of traffic, changes. Basically, what happens here is, if you add all those keywords to be tracked, then who will be the person who will go and look at all that, let's say thousands of pages rank, and then who will decide that this page is going down? So what you can do here is, you can look at the end experience which you are considering to deliver. You can go on KPI, key performance indicator, that the traffic has been 1 lakh.
Your voice just went a little low.
Okay. um, so what I'm trying to say here is, I hope that I'm audible now.
Not that great. Did your voice just dipped, right, Shivam?
Yes, actually, the voice is not. It's breaking a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's good.
that's
Now
fine.
it's good.
Okay. So I was talking about, rather than worrying on the side where, where you want to track thousands of pages, try to worry about the overall KPI, key performance indicator, that your business sales has increased from past month to this month, and your traffic has also increased, right? Why first in terms of sales? Because sales is the only number which really matters. All other metrics like traffic, impressions, or likes, all these things are almost vog metrics. It doesn't add a lot of value to, to your to your business. So if you want to track, let's say thousands and thousands of pages, you can go for SEMrush, or you can go for there are many tools. So I will have a detailed talk on this, where I will be sharing a case study, compared with Amazon and Flipkart, what we learned from them and how we implemented. There will be a couple of tools which will be listed there, and you can go and you can use that. One of them is SERP Ranker, and there are many tools which you can use it. So initially, I can say that you can go for Ahrefs and SEMrush, but if you need specific tools, let's say that you want ranking specific to city, that on which position my website is ranking when someone is searching from Bangalore, right? So for those, there are a couple of tools which I'll be listing in the presentation, and you can definitely go and use. So please wait. My talk will be on third, and in that, I will be trying to share the presentation to you. So yeah,
Sure.
Nishant, you can take the question forward.
Yeah. Now we have a question. How I have more than one idea, then how to figure out uh, to start which. So I think Nishant would be the right guy to answer this.
You have more than an idea and you want to figure out which one to go with. You know, a lot of things are in play. Let's say which one is easier to put your foot down on. I think that's a very good criteria. अगर कोई काम बहुत आसान है तो उसको ट्राई कर लेना चाहिए. If something is less expensive, if something is very cheap, you can try that. If something is very, very high potential, but is very expensive, you won't be able to do it, then what's the point? So the mix basically is of three things: how expensive something is, how easy something is, and then how valuable it is. Right? इन्हीं तीन variables को आपको optimize करना है. If it's very expensive, if it's very valuable, and if it's very easy. That's all. That's all. मतलब it has to be valuable, it should be easy, and it should be less expensive. अगर वो तीनों circles का intersection है, then there's nothing like it, right? अब कोई चीज है वो एक्सपेंसिव बहुत है, इजी है लेकिन वैल्यूएबल है, तो आप देख सकते हो, अगर आपके पास पैसे हैं तो आप कर सकते हो. अगर कोई चीज बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है लेकिन वो इजी और वैल्यूएबल है लेकिन आपके पास पैसे नहीं है, तो आप वो कर ही नहीं सकते, तो उसके बारे में सोचना ही क्या है, राइट? अपने कॉन्स्ट्रेंट्स आपको क्लियर होने चाहिए. जैसे अगर मेरे पास है, मेरे को फिल्म बनानी है, राइट? आई वांट टू मेक अ फिल्म, लेकिन मेरे पास फिल्म बनाने के लिए जो कैमरा चाहिए होता है वो नहीं है, तो मैं नहीं बनाऊंगा ना फिल्म. या तो मैं वो कैमरा अफोर्ड करूं, या फिर मैं कैमरा रेंट करने की कोशिश करूं, या फिर मैं छोड़ूंगा फिल्म, मैं गाने बनाऊंगा, क्योंकि मेरे पास माइक है तो मैं गाने बना सकता हूँ, राइट? अब ऑब्वियसली क्या गाना फिल्म जितना वैल्यूएबल है एज अ पीस ऑफ आर्ट? सम वुड से यस, सम वुड से नो, लेकिन नो, films are usually more valuable as art pieces, right? Even if it's a short film, if it's a feature film, then it's very valuable. But you make a song, it has to click, but it's an easier thing to do. तो मैं गाना बनाऊंगा. तो आपको भी यही तीन वेरिएबल्स को फिगर आउट करना पड़ेगा कि हाउ मच of money you have, what's the ease of operations, and end product कितना valuable है. अगर कोई चीज है वो सस्ती भी है, easy भी है, लेकिन वो बिल्कुल valuable नहीं है, तो उसको करके भी क्या करोगे आप, राइट? सो यही तीन चीजों को आपको ऑप्टिमाइज करना है. आई थिंक, आई होप आई आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन. आई शिवम?
Yes, on top of it, I would also like to add this term that interest. Interest is also something right now you mentioned that अलग अलग लोगों के लिए सम वुड रादर से कि उनके लिए फिल्म ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल है, एंड सम कॉन्ट्रेरी टू दैट, कुछ लोग बोलेंगे उनके लिए म्यूजिक ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल है, एंड सम डिफरेंट रिलेटेबल आर्ट पीसेस, द वे यू मेंशनड इट. ये एक्चुअली बहुत हद तक इंटरेस्ट पर भी शो होता है. फॉर अगर हम इसे इंडस्ट्री के लेवल पर बात करें, अगर हम इकोसिस्टम पर लेकर इसे बात करें, तो कुछ लोगों के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी, अगर कोई एक प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर है, अगर कोई टेक्निकल ग्रेड है, तो हेल्थ केयर में भी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप होता है. आप दूसरे डोमेन में चले जाओ, दूसरी इंडस्ट्रीज में, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आप चले जाओ, वहां पर भी टेक्नोलॉजी और इंजीनियर्स की जरूरत होती है. बट अगेन इट अगेन लाइज एज इंटरेस्ट. इंटरेस्ट आपको क्या हेल्थ केयर में है, क्या हेल्थ केयर के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने में इंटरेस्ट है, तो आप बिल्कुल आप वहां पर जाकर इंजीनियर आप बन सकते हैं. नाउ निशांत ने जितनी बातें कही हैं, ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू ऐड दिस टर्म इंटरेस्ट. आपका इंटरेस्ट क्या, किस चीज में ज्यादा पैशन, इन अदर वर्ड्स पैशन किस डोमेन में आपका ज्यादा लाई करता है, एंड देन यू कैन
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, दैट्स टोटली राइट. एंड व्हाई आई डिडंट मेंशन दैट इंटरेस्ट इज बिकॉज आई वाज अज्यूमिंग कि आपका दोनों में इंटरेस्ट है, या आपका जितने भी आइडियाज, आप मोर देन वन आइडिया है तो शायद आपके आइडियाज हैं तो आपका दोनों में इंटरेस्ट है. जनरली प्रॉब्लम यही होती है ना, यू लव more than one thing at a time.
राइट.
And in some cases more than one people at a time.
Interesting. Interesting.
I can see Rana is smiling on this.
I'm
I'm sorry?
smiling because Rana is smiling because, what has happened is these are maybe butterfly times. When you have more than one thing and they are willing to work on, they have. I mean, I understand and I appreciate the point of view which you're putting. Generally, what I see, the very first reason why entrepreneurs quit with their existing startup is that they don't have money. So what I can say is if you have the easiest way to have some money for you in terms of profit, okay, if you are creating real business, let's talk about profit, not the VC money. Because if you are taking the VC money and if you're just spending it, you're having a good time, you're having a good office, big office, fancy office, and if you're not making the business work, then it doesn't make sense personally to me. So having the money will allow you to do a lot of stuff, and this these indicators will change based on if you're a student, if you're someone who is frustrated with your corporate job, or if you're someone who is working in a startup and considering to start your own startup. All this metrics will change. If you're frustrated in enterprise, then you will feel that I want a lot of heavy engineering so that I can build the product. That's the thrust which you're willing to take. If you're someone if you're someone who is into startups, and maybe the startup you're working with is funded, then you would like to have okay, I will also build a startup and I will have multiple millions of dollars which will be in funds. But if you're working someone in Zoho, maybe you'll feel that, hey, I'm also going to create a bootstrap company and I'm going to make it happen. So these KPIs will will change based on what position you are at. And I personally have made myself in a way that I can get interested on many things, but I would like to spend enough time on the current thing which I'm holding. For example, right now I'm in Martech. By certificate, I'm a computer science engineer, but I'm very much interested in marketing. I do a lot of silly and good experiments. Like, let's say that who does experimentation on business cards? I went to events, and what I did was I created 3 versions of business cards. One which was looking fancy, second one which was which has all the information, and third one on which basic information was given but in bullet points. Very in simple terms, it was written that rank on Google, get more customers, right? Go online. This simple terms was written, and I did ABC test on this, and turned out that C was working very well because people were understanding. Because what happens that a lot of people take the business card and they forget that they have to call, or they forget that what this person does, and these issues happen. So I, I like doing A/B tests, and I'm very much interested in this, and I want to continue this in this format rather than going and mixing it up with a lot of things, because this way I will be able to, find out things which can be interesting to other people, build solutions around it, and something will come out of it. I'm also interested in food, but I don't go deeper around food. I go, deeper around martech, because I see my career, building quite well. I'm interested. So for you, if you are considering, of course interest can be a thing, but always remember that money is often a reason people quit their startups. So if money is closer to you in terms of profit, there might be higher chances that you may continue that company, or you can continue and start other startups which you have thought of. So yeah.
Truly. Now, now,
Somebody asked whether Seneca is an edtech company. How is it different from companies like Udemy, Coursera? What is the USP of Seneca? Bhargav Gupta. Bhargav, Seneca is not an edtech company. Seneca is a distraction free smartphone. This is a smartphone which is totally utilitarian. It doesn't have social media, it doesn't have OTT entertainment, it doesn't have YouTube video. It's a utilitarian smartphone. It has maps, it has finance, payments, it has learning and education, it has email, it has messaging, it has WhatsApp, but it doesn't have anything else. So it's a phone designed for people who are careful about their time, who don't want to waste their time at all, who want to save their time every day. क्योंकि we've noticed that in India, 6 hours, more than 6 hours, are spent on average by people on smartphones. Like 6 घंटे, half their waking life, Indians spend on smartphones every day. So they're obviously pissing their lives away. So Seneca wants to save that time, and that's what it is. It's not an edtech company. I hope that answers your question, Bhargav
Acha,
Gupta.
Nishant, I have this question. How is it different from this distraction-free apps which actually block? Oh,
but
am I
before
audible?
this, yes,
Yeah,
you are audible, Rana. But before you ask your question, I would like to mention that, guys, we have another 10 minutes and then we'll wrap the webinar up for today. So if you guys have any other question, just we have another 10 minutes. Now, please, Rana, you're asking something. You had some question.
sure, sure. So, as Nishant, you are focusing on the productivity side, and I have some of the apps, block apps and all, which blocks this applications like Instagram, on which people spend most of their time. Like, what kind of ecosystem are you building? Because if we see Play Store, the whole Play Store is about apps, notifications, games, fun. So what is being built? I'm quite curious around that.
We have our own operating system. We are building a new phone and a new operating system which doesn't have those apps. We have a Seneca store, an app store. It is blocking every app like that proactively. So it's a walled garden, walled ecosystem where any app in this genre, entertainment, social networking, is not allowed, you know? And you're saying about productivity apps, they can't block anything. They can only remind you to not use an app more than a pertain time. So whichever app you're using, it can be a timer. Let's say you spend more than an hour, it'll say that you've spent more than an hour, please note down, and you can just ignore that and move forward. All blocking apps are just timers. No blocking app can actually block you from using any app. You can just tap on that and the dialog, the pop up disappears, and then you can keep using the app. No blocking app can stop you from downloading an app from the Play Store, a new app. Let's say tomorrow Threads comes, or tomorrow Breads comes, or whatever comes, no blocking app can stop you from using a phone in any way. No blocking app can stop you from using YouTube, and it can not even enable you to uninstall YouTube. If you're using an Android phone, you can't uninstall YouTube, right? So Seneca phone is a phone designed and to make sure that you don't have any notification. Forget about notification, you can't use Instagram. There is no Instagram. You can't even run Instagram on the browser. It's a productivity phone. It's a phone designed to save people's time. We are giving people their lives back. Kids are getting addicted, kids are ruined, kids are getting, like, they have heroin in their hands, man. you know we're giving them their life back.
So what would be there on the Play Store? Like, if not entertainment, if not music, what would be available on the,
Music app
App
is
Store?
available. Music is available, by the way. You can listen to music while working out or whatever, while doing work. It's finance and payments. You can pay everything. You can use UPI, you can use all sorts of finance apps. They can
Mhm,
be used.
mhm, mhm.
Messaging apps can be used, which are not entertainment related. So WhatsApp is available. You can talk to people. Then you can use education and learning apps, of course. Like, if you are enrolling on some platform for learning, like which is totally education focused, like Coursera or edX or Udemy, those apps are allowed. Learning apps are allowed. You can use navigation for maps and, you know GPS, that you can do. But you cannot do anything else. So that's Seneca. You can do email, of course, but nothing else. When I search Seneca in Google, the first website is related to EdTech. Is there any specific website to learn more about the product? Sure, you could write Seneca Nishant. You know, we are currently fundraising. We've not really launched a website or anything, so we've raised 1.5 crores only. We're gonna start the formal hiring at 10 crores. That's why you are not seeing. But you can write Seneca Nishant, and that'll open the open pitch for Seneca, which you can read to learn about it. Chandra Prakash says, does student who do not have exposure of business, how to go about it? It is start own directly what we have to follow. Chandra Prakash, the best way is to learn from people. आप लोगों से सीखिए. अगर आप uh, there are two ways to learn. One is through books, one is through material, the knowledge. I like to read books. I've been running a campaign called 52 books in a year for a long time. मैं 10 साल तक मैंने किताबें ही किताबें पढ़ी हैं. 2012 में मैंने वो कैंपेन शुरू करी थी 52 बुक्स, और मैं हर साल 40 किताबें पढ़ता रहा. 2022 में मैंने खत्म करी. तो ऑन एन एवरेज आई रेड लाइक 40 बुक्स a year, 400 बुक्स. अब मैं नहीं पढ़ रहा. तो एक तरीका ये है कि आप लोगों से किताबें पढ़ के नॉलेज इकट्ठी कर सकते हैं. ये दूसरा तरीका, जो बेहतर तरीका है मेरे हिसाब से, वो ये है कि आप लोगों से बात करके नॉलेज ले सकते हैं. जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उसी डायरेक्शन में, उनसे बात करिए, उनसे थोड़ा सीखिए, उनके शागिर्द बन जाइए. अपेरेंटिस, इट्स कॉल्ड इन इंग्लिश. उनको उनके अनुयायी बन जाइए. आप हिंदी में अनुयायी बोलते हैं, फॉलोअर. लर्न फ्रॉम पीपल हु आर ऑन द जॉब, एंड देन जस्ट गो अबाउट इट, मैन. That's my answer.
Now, wonderful. So we really had a great session, and
Shivam,
obviously we
would
got.
you not like to add something to Chandra Prakash Sharma, considering the amount of resources that are going to be provided in the whole cohort?
Definitely, and that was exactly I was about to say that now we had a great session for the final upcoming for the final surprises. Now we have Rana with us who will be providing some yet another insights on this. So please, Rana,
Acha.
your
So
final
see,
words.
the reason why we are doing this cohort, because we want to find people like Chandra Prakash Sharma, and then we want to help them. It is not just we, it is us. You might be away from Bangalore, maybe in a small village of UP, or maybe in a small village of MP, or anywhere, anywhere. It could be Kerala, Telangana, and whatever. Maybe it is very much possible that you will not be having access to the resources, but this is why these things are being made online. So we are calling experts who can give you the overview on the business clarity side, right? Hey, this is my business. From your end, you will be telling us, right? And then we'll be understanding. Then we'll be asking you a couple of questions. Who is your customer? How much are you going to charge? What is the stage of your product? How much money? How much resources? How many people you have in your team? And considering that, something will be offered to you, right? And there might be people who will be studying business in the MBA college. They might come and they can join you and they can help you out. If not, then we will give you at least on a document side that what can be done, right? So uh, resources like this, groups like this will help you build connection, and this will give you clarity. Apart from this, self exercise, if you want to do right now, you got this resource which was not available earlier for the brainstorming, was you can go to chat gpt. You can literally say that, hey, my name is Chandraprakash Sharma. I belong to a small village of MP, and I have this idea of selling soap. I'm a student who is studying in third year computer science engineering. I do not have money, but I have 2000 rupees savings in my account. How can I sell these soaps? How can I make this business big? If you just give this input to chat gpt in these simple terms, it will throw you a lot of information to you. You can be very open to it, you can say that I do not have money, I'm a student, what do I do? It will give you many mediums which you can likely adapt. Although I would say that before you adapt, maybe you should consult someone who is experienced around this. You can take advice, and if you say that you are a starter, or if you are a student, or if you're a professional who do not have a lot of money, and or willing not to invest a lot of money, they will give you some insight which you can put in. If you have money, then things will be easy to achieve, it will be easier for you to achieve. But if you do not have a lot of money, it will be tougher. It is still possible to achieve it, but it will take more time. So what I would say is, you try to fill the form. We will be spending time with almost 15 startups at the end of the cohort, and while the cohort will happen, so fill the form and put proper information about your business. And our team will get in touch with you. We would like to review it. There are a lot of communities that are available. If not personal help, if I don't know about industry, I can recommend someone who is pro from that industry. If it is related to music, maybe Nishant can help you. If it is related to consultancy, Shivam can help you. If it is related to marketing or technology, I can help you. And there are more speakers who will be coming in, they will be able to help you with this. So fill the form. We would love to know your journey, and in one-on-one session we can definitely look at it and we can make it happen. So yeah, over to you, Shivam.
Sure. So I guess we are putting the form in the comment section. Okay. So final words, guys. So we really had a great session, and we had some really great insights from Nishant and Rana, both of you guys. So, and the questions that were asked.
Whether mixed photos, oh, I got a question which is very much related to me, huh? This guy actually went ahead and explored mixed commerce. Whether mixed photos is an AI tool, Rana Chayant? No, mixed photos is yet not an AI tool, but we are using AI in behind to classify what is seen in that photo. So if you want to say that, does it use AI to classify for classification? Yes, it does use AI. But in general, for a general customer, it's just a photo sharing website on which you can go. You can find Indian photos, which is very hard to find outside if you go on Pexels or you go to Pexabay. And it is a community project. That means that community comes together. If you are a photographer, you'll be able to contribute there, and we do not charge anything. When we'll have the other session? So the session will be for next 10 days. Today is the first day. On 4th of August, we will be conducting an offline event at Hustle Hub, which is in HSR Bangalore. If you have someone from Bangalore, then you can definitely come in, and uh, you can come to the event. You can meet a lot of people, and you'll get some valuable insight. Although I must say that we are not going to share very technical stuff, and all technical stuff and things will be shared online here, and all the recordings will also be available. Apart from that, what I would like to say is we are trying to share the link to you in the chat section. Unfortunately, LinkedIn is not allowing us to put it in the link format. So all you can do is you can copy that URL, paste in the new tab section, and you can go there and you can fill it, and then our team will try to get in touch with you. That's the thing which I can say you all. Yeah.
Okay. So now
One
all the
second, link is not working. Yeah, someone is saying link is not working. uh is it really not working?
okay. So into this post, into the description, we'll be providing the description of our Cohort. We'll be providing the link as well. From there as well, you guys can access the link.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, I must say at the end that we are very excited to have all the entrepreneurial mindset here and people who have already started, people who want to start, and we are trying to bring a good change in the society by coming here and spending time. And I'm very very thankful to Nishant, and you have come here, you shared a lot of strategies and your past business ideas and business executions. I hope that the audience found it helpful, and the audience who will be watching this video in the future on YouTube or LinkedIn will find it helpful. This broadcast will not be ending. We will just close this with the poster because LinkedIn doesn't allow it to start it, and we are still trying to figure out. uh, we are still trying to figure out. LinkedIn has some live issues where once we end the live broadcast we can't restart it, so the broadcast will be live, and we will put the poster and we'll say that it will be starting tomorrow 6 o'clock. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you have any question, feel free to put it in the comment section of the event page. We'll try to see and we'll try to respond you. And for the people for whom the link is not working, we will be adding this link over there as well, so you can fill it after the event. So I think that that is all, and let us end it here. I think it went very very successful. Thank you, Shivam, for being, and thank you, Nishant, for giving your time and valuable insight. It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.